This will see how this goes. Who knows? Um, Everyone I speak to about AI is very curious about how they can make money using AI. Some people talk about are they going to lose their job and they're concerned about that, but largely it's like, okay, how do I use this technology for a side hustle? Like, how do I get into the game that everybody else is trying to get into or seems to have already gotten into? And that's what I'm going to answer in this video. So you don't need a website, you don't need a brand, you just need to solve somebody's problem. And I'm going to walk you through what I recommend and what that process should look like when you're trying to figure out whose problem do I solve and how do I solve said problem. I want you to start and think about people in your life. So if you can think of one, two, maybe three people in your life that you know and you understand their job and you understand the trials and tribulations of that job, that's where you start. And you start to think about the problems that those people have. So it might be this. If you have a friend that's a real estate agent, I have my friend Elena is a real estate agent. And I know that it's really difficult being a real estate agent. I think there's lots of challenges and trials and tribulations. Or maybe you have a cousin who just got laid off and that cousin has come to you for advice and you have, you're giving them advice about how to get a job and work on their resume or things of that nature. But you got to start with picking that person that you know and not doing any sort of guesswork, right? You're not just going to create a product with AI and then throw it out into the world, because that's really the beauty of the technology that we've been exposed to here is we can harness that technology to tell us what our path should be. And once you figure out that person, whether that be a realtor or a nurse or a coach or your boss or your neighbor, any problem that anyone in your life has come to you for advice on or to complain about or pulling their hair out over that problem, that's where you start. And then once you extract the problem from the person that you know and love and have interacted with and spent time with, that's when you go to ChatGPT and you say, hey ChatGPT, let's brainstorm. Here are some people that I know personally who are struggling with very specific problems. And you list the problems that they're struggling with. And it might be something at work. It might be a lack of income, that cousin that got let go. It might be lack of efficiency in what they're trying to create or how they're going about doing it. And this is the tough part too, right? You got to extract passion out of it, right? AI isn't going to come up with something that they're not going to know that you love playing guitar or you love working out. That's actually a barbell right there. Or even you love popcorn. That's a popcorn maker right there. AI is not going to know that. AI is going to help you forget about the passion and think about pressure and think about the people in your life that are experiencing pressure and stress in their life. And that's really good because many business owners, myself included, will build something, throw it out into the world, and if people don't bite, you're in trouble, right? You've spent a lot of time, money, and effort trying to create that product, and if that doesn't necessarily happen, you're in a bad spot because you could be 6 months, a year in, and you throw it out to the world, and you're not getting that feedback. So when you start with people you know, and you start with the problems that they know, that's where the magic happens. You start with the pressure, the things that those people are complaining to you about, and you want to think about the things in their lives that are making them say, this is exhausting, or this is costing me an exorbitant amount of money, or I don't have time for this, right? Like you're standing around the barbecue. I'm sure you can think of 30 conversations that you've had if you were at a 4th of July barbecue of somebody saying, oh my God, that's so annoying. Oh my God, that costs so much money, right? So you're going to ask ChatGPT, list 10 annoying, costly, emotionally painful problems for a 42-year-old real estate agent in Austin, Texas. So you've got the person in your mind, you've got their problem in your mind, right? You know the problem that they've complained to you about, but then you're going to get it in a ChatGPT and you're going to say, name some of those problems. And then add, now, once you get those problems, now you're going to say, now turn each of those problems into a very clear before and after transformation. And this is where it gets really quite exciting. Now remember, ChatGPT, AI and ChatGPT, they're not fail safes, right? They're not going to, they don't know everything, right? So it's a pre-trained transformer, and that means that there's been a lot of data input into ChatGPT. But it might come up with different information that might not be necessarily critical for that person today, but it'll probably get the gist of it. It'll get you pretty clear. Then you're going to say, show me how the person that you've thought of, how their life looks different after these problems are solved. Okay? And this, to me, this is exciting because this is what helped me with my umbrella statement to speak to all of you, which was, I help entrepreneurs, business owners, implement AI to generate more income. That's my umbrella statement, is to help you all to generate income using AI. And once you can do that for the avatar, for that person that you've thought of in your life, the realtor, maybe it's your neighbor, somebody with a big issue in their life, you ask ChatGPT to create the before and the after, and now all of a sudden, you're not guessing what does their life look like when that problem has been solved. Trust me, I've gone through this exercise. And you're using AI to reverse engineer that service, right? So now you're going to say, imagine that there is a service or a product that these people would gladly pay for to alleviate that problem. Boom. That's where you start. Then I want you to paste this into ChatGPT. I'm going to read it. Act as a business strategist. Based on the problems above, give me 5 AI-powered services or product ideas I could deliver in insert time, 48 hours, using ChatGPT, Synthesia, Notion, or Zapier. Okay? Before I go on, I'm going to define those because I know a lot of you might not know exactly what I'm talking about. ChatGPT, OpenAI, it's a basic AI system. It's like texting somebody. You can go to the website, you type in information. If you pay $20 a month, you can upgrade and you can create your own GPT. That's in other videos that I have here as well. Synthesia is pretty incredible. Synthesia, you can create avatars and or leverage avatars so that you can input text and a person will parrot that text. So it can be very, very powerful, doing things like answering frequently asked questions. I have my own avatar. I am not an avatar right now. This is real Chris Desi. But I have my own avatar where my AI 101 course is actually taught by my avatar. True story. So it's very cool. Notion is essentially a note-taking system where you can share those notes, collaborate on notes, have links embedded in essentially presentations. And Zapier is let's see, the simplest way that I could leverage Zapier is it is a connector of technologies. So if there is not a technology between your email service provider and your CRM, your database with the back end, and there's no way to connect those things, you can leverage Zapier to make that connection. So these are relatively simple tools. They're very cheap and or free, and that's why I would ask ChatGPT to come up with a solution using these free tools for us as quickly as possible, right? Now we want to say, click. Ugh, I'm tired. Now we're going to say, pick one that has a clear return on investment, earns money, and removes friction. When I say removes friction, it just means it's making that person's life better. And then, most importantly, it can be delivered fast. So it can be delivered via a PDF or a video like this, or an automation or a consultation where you can sit down with that person and you can say, here's the steps to your solution to your problem. And then that's how you can execute on it. It might be an audit, an AI audit. I know I've been doing that for a lot of businesses where I record Loom videos and I do a complete audit of their business and then flip it over the fence. We do a lot of the auditing in the 90-day workshops that I do, where we're tearing down businesses, looking at the dents and the chinks in the armor, and then we're fixing it using AI and technology. But here's where the fun part starts. That's just the beginning. You're going to get excited. You're going to see the solutions. You're going to see how easy it is to implement. And then you're going to say, oh my gosh, how do I do all of this? I want you to create a folder on your desktop. And in that folder, it's going to have all these super duper ideas. You can call it prompts and products. So every time ChatGPT gives you an idea that gets you super excited, you can save it as a PDF. You can drag it into that folder. And then this becomes your new intellectual property library. So as you're brainstorming and trying to figure all that stuff out, it becomes a repository of startup ideas for you. Oh, what's the tech stack look like? ChatGPT. You can use the mic if you hate typing. I use it all the time. Even if you're in Word, you could click on the dictation button and dictate into Word documents, which I do as well. Sometimes my brain moves faster than my fingers talk. I did it for a part of my last book, as a matter of fact. I sat here speaking into the microphone while I was dictating content. I do have a new ebook coming out as well. We'll talk about that later. Or you could leverage Canva. You could design ugly and ship fast, right? So you could use tally.so, which is how you can capture leads pretty simply. You could use Card. It's $20 for landing pages, super simple and done. You can use Google Drive and Notion to store your stuff. You can have an external hard drive even that could back it all up. But I think if you can make this real and you can execute on this, just follow the instructions that I just gave you, that's a real mind-bending shift for you all. And what I mean by that is you've just extracted years worth of delay to get to the heart of the matter of how to generate revenue as an entrepreneur by leveraging AI. You've got the most intelligent business advisor that you currently have access to, right? Like ChatGPT is pre-trained, but it is trained on a lot of information, and it's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. The more data, the more people that are using it, the more intelligent it becomes. So you have access to this massive database, and you don't have to be a coder to gain access. You don't have to have a key to the secret society to have access. It's here for you. But if you approach it properly, you define those people in your life that have those problems, you get clear on what those problems might be, and then you ask ChatGPT, what would their lives look like before and after, and how can we bridge that gap to solve those things and make it disappear? Oh my gosh, you're in a really good spot. So you're going to use ChatGPT. You're going to pause this video and go into ChatGPT and come back when you have a product idea, 2 or 10, that would solve a real person's problem. And then once you pick that person and you solve that person's problem, I would say you're further ahead than 99% of the people out there. And a lot of people get nervous about AI because they hear so much about it and they're like, oh gosh, I already missed the boat. No, you didn't. The fact that you're watching this video right now, you're ahead of everybody. I promise you that. And especially if you're thinking about a side hustle or how to make money using AI, you're definitively ahead of the curve, beyond everybody else, because nobody else is thinking that way. I promise you. But if you start with that, and you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you join my community for free and learn from other entrepreneurs and other individuals that want to harness AI to benefit themselves and their families and their loved ones. See, it's not that scary. I have lots of free content, lots of free information, and I have, you can download the AI report. There's a bunch of free stuff in the description. So if you go in the description, you like the video, hit subscribe, get all the free stuff that I provide in the video. But that's it. It's pretty simple. To recap, think of people in your life. Think of the stuff they complain to you about. Ask ChatGPT for a before and after, and what does their life look like after? And then ask it to explain to you how it got there. And then in 48 hours, using these very simple tools, how can I solve that problem? Voila. You will have a consulting service, a video service, a PDF, something that you can give to those people, and they will pay you money in return for those solutions. Good luck, gang. Tell me how you do. I have no idea. I'm doing it right now because this was part of me combining my joy and my skill set, what I'm good at, so that I could help you. So it does work. Cool. Keep up the good work. Have a great day. I'm enjoying doing the video like this because I am so sick of editing, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. That's it. See ya.